Yo, what's poppin', people? Cobra Star Green back with you guys with another video today. Look, if you guys first time finding my channel or anything like that for your boy, please hit that subscribe button. Also like this video. Yes, today I'll be doing my review for the very highly anticipated project from Christopher Nolan called, as you guys can see right here, with the big explosion. Know what that explosion mean? Yes, we're talking about Oppenheimer. I think I said, yeah, Oppenheimer right here. Boom. Yes, I'll be doing my review on this film. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it worth the wait? Will it beat Barbie? Because it does open out on the same day. It's better than Barbie? Well, we'll talk about all that stuff. Go ahead and cue the intro.
Finally, you, we got a problem. 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 It's probably you. Yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem. Yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem.
So yes, if you guys know me, you guys know the director of this movie directed my favorite superhero movie of all time, and he's actually one of my favorite directors of all time. And I'm talking about the guy that well, he did this movie right here. Oh my god, I love it. I love that theme. I love that. You know, this we talking about Christopher Nolan today. And like I said, he directed one of my favorite movies of all time, The Dark Knight, as you guys see right there. But also, he's directed Inception, which I loved a lot. But then the last movie he directed, I really wasn't a fan of it. And if you guys know the last movie he directed, it was this movie right here. Tenet, man. I had so many problems with Tenet. I was like, I know you're my favorite director, but there's a lot of issues here with this movie. First of all, the movie is confusing. It's too loud. I can't hear the dialogue at all. There were just so many problems with this movie. But how does Oppenheimer compare? You know, this movie's been getting a lot of praise, honestly. I've had a couple friends that got to see it in LA last week, and they praised to me how well done this film is, how it was. So what are my thoughts? So let's go ahead and talk about them. I'll just say this. This is a movie we needed. This is a very, and I knew it was going to be like this, but it's a very powerful film. It's a very moving film. Man, this film makes you think. It makes you wonder. You know, it makes you believe in certain aspects. This movie, like I said, at the end of the day, will move you. And it's one of the most powerful movies I've seen in recent memory. So pretty much with this movie, without really giving out too much stuff away, this movie is based off of pretty much one man's brilliant mind to pretty much come up with an atom bomb, you know, and what led to it, what happened after it, how it, you know, caused war and all this stuff. Like I said, that's without spoiling too much stuff with this movie, because this is a movie that truly I feel like do need to see. So yeah, let's get into this. Look, I'll say this. With Christopher Nolan, when you watch Christopher Nolan films, Christopher Nolan really do have his boys, man. You'll see the same people in so many Christopher Nolan films, and it's the same way here. We're going to talk about some of the cast members here. Now, we got to talk about the main boy. I have not seen him in so long. I think the last time I saw him wasn't a Christopher Nolan flick. And that is that Cillian Murphy, I think that's how you say his name. He plays Oppenheimer right here. He's the brilliant scientist in the movie. It's a movie that we follow. This is based off his life. And man, I'll just say his performance here, it's amazing. You know, you start to really feel for this guy after a while. Like, honestly, how he started and how he finished and how we got to experience everything through his eyes, his emotions, truly was like, this is phenomenal to watch on a big screen. We saw it in IMAX, and I'm like, wow, because a lot of the times during this movie, it kind of bounces all over the place a little bit with this. But you see that how he comes up with these certain ideas in the movie, or like for a bomb and stuff like that, and he starts to just really realize, like, dude, this could really be a bad idea, you know. And it still plays out throughout the film, and I won't tell you guys how it ends, but the way you watch his journey, you're like, oh my god, he's really on to something, you know. So truly phenomenal, man. There was so much amount of emotion that Cillian Murphy brought to this character, man. Brought this character right back to life. It makes you feel like you're there. Like, he does you forget that it's him after a while. It's just a truly phenomenal performance by him. Now let's talk about some more characters. So this next character we're going to talk about was my favorite character in the movie. I think when you watch the movie, I think you might feel the same way. I'm not talking about Robert Downey Jr. I ain't talking about Matt Damon. No, I'm talking about Emily the Goat Blunt. Her performance in this movie, man, words ain't been invented on how good she was in this film. Man, oh my gosh, her emotion that she displayed in this film, truly one of the best performances I've seen from her. I remember I really liked her a lot in Edge of Tomorrow, but seeing her in this movie, I'm like, I think she's even better here. Every time she's on screen, she pretty much commands the screen. You know, she's pretty much stealing the show in strings that she shouldn't be. You know, oh my God. Like, this is one of the characters where I don't want to say too much. I just want you guys just to enjoy her. Like, enjoy her performance. Her performance is so captivating. It's just amazing. Downright amazing. One of the best performances I've seen of the year. I hope she goes for an Oscar with this one. If I have to fill out my award stuff like at the end of the year for being a critic, and I have to put down actors and stuff. She will be on my list for supporting actress in this movie right here. Her performance here is just so good. And I didn't even see it coming. You know, I thought the surprising performance here would be Florence Pugh. And then say her name. I'll just say, look, if y'all expecting a lot from this character, she does a lot, but it's a lot when she's not on screen. You know, her impact is felt when I feel like she's like left the film. I'll say. If you guys are looking for some nasty stuff, I'll tell you, she definitely brings it, man. Boy, there's scenes with her where she is fully exposed. Camera ain't hiding nothing. Cameraman damn near like, oh, them things look good. Hold on, let me get close. Let me go see. Man, I'm telling y'all, these out. You see it, you know, and that's pretty much her character in the movie. Every time you see her, she's pretty much Charlie Murphy, aka Oppenheimer's sex appeal here. And I think she does a really great job. But I just wish there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot to her character, but there's a lot to her character when she's off screen. You know, so her impact is really felt when she's not there. I think the most. And I mean, kudos to her. She does a really great job playing the character. But I just wish that there was a little bit more to her. But let's talk about his next character. And the last character to talk about, look, I know Matt Damon's in the movie. Matt Damon was really great, but I just don't have time to spend on all these characters. The cast for this movie is huge. I'm talking about like what I liked in a little bit, but I want to talk about Robert Downey Jr. I did get a lot of like, oh, this is just Robert Downey Jr. playing Robert Downey Jr. in a certain aspect. But he did bring something charismatic to this character. You know, the first half of the movie, he's one way. And the second half of the movie, he completely flips and he's on the other side. So you see him get to play two different sides of a coin. You know, he was pretty much Two-Face, you know. And I liked how Robert Downey Jr. delivered this performance here. I think he does a really great job. I think he doesn't get enough credit for the great job that he does. Hopefully he'll get a credit here, because I think he didn't do phenomenal, but I thought that it worked. You know, I thought it worked. He wasn't one of my favorites, but I was never bothered by his character. I think he did a really good job, and that's really kudos to like the whole entire like cast. You know, like whoever the casting director was, holy crap. Because there is a lot of noticeable faces here that you're like, oh my god, he's in this movie, she's in this movie, he's in this movie. Like, yo, you like go down the list. Like, there are so many people that you will recognize in this movie, and they all bring their A game when you're watching this film. So and you gotta give that to Christopher Nolan, man. The GOAT, Christopher Nolan. He knows how to bring the best out of his actors. So definitely, if you really want to see it for the cast and just see it for how great the cast is in the movie, you'll definitely get that experience. You'll definitely get that here. Now, I know the big thing about this movie was like, I mean, the main reason why people wanted to go see it was because of the bomb. And like, oh, when is the bomb going to go off? When's the bomb going to go off? Yeah, the bomb goes off. But this movie's long, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But when the bomb goes off, it goes off in like the midway point of the movie. Like damn near the second act of the movie is when it actually goes off and you actually see everything and what has happened. And what I really liked about that is that I know this was the reason why everybody came to see the film, right? But it wasn't even the best part of the film, and I really, really did enjoy that. I love when I can watch it, I listen to an album, and there's this one song that's on the radio, and it's an amazing song. It's number one, whatever, right? But you completely listen to the rest of the album, and you're like, this ain't even the best song on the album. This is how I felt the same way here. That bomb scene is what's gonna get everybody into the theater. Chris Nolan get everybody into the theater, but it ain't even the best scene in the movie, you know. So man, I have to give a big kudos to the whole entire squad here, and not that it's the center focus here, but it's not the best thing that's presented in this film. Another thing I would say, if you guys have like bad ears, please stay away from this one. Now, we saw this movie in IMAX, so it's gonna be double the volume. But watching this movie is loud. Oh my goodness. The explosions are loud to the point where it's like it rattles your seat, rattles your ears. It actually really makes you feel like you're actually there. Like just how well the sound design was and how the sound scheme was with the bombs and how they went off. And because early on they were playing with like little bombs, and even those had like little explosions to them, and you can really hear how well it sounds in the film. Tenet, I complained about the sound. Here, I'm saying it's one of the best sound scheme movies I've seen in a while. Man, the sound design here, everything, the sound, how the sound is played with in this film is just amazing to me. I think it's one of the best aspects of the film. It's a reason why you probably need to go see this movie in IMAX. Go see it in IMAX just so you can feel like you there. This movie is, I didn't even get on this. This movie is shot with IMAX cameras. This movie was made to see in IMAX. Literally. Man, I know there's not a lot of action here, but it's still like a very captivating, moving film at the end of the day. And like I said, this is one of the movies that deserve to be in IMAX. I know the explosion and everything, but there's a lot of other stuff that happens in the film which I don't want to spoil because I really want you guys to just enjoy those moments. And yeah, one thing about Christopher Nolan, his movies are always going to be so well shot. Man, this movie, like, this is one of the best well shot movies I've seen in probably a good year or two, honestly. Like, the way this movie is shot is like so cultivating. It immerses you so much with what's going on. Like, there's stuff that happens with Oppenheimer, and the way how it's shot makes you feel like you're actually there. You're actually in his mind, experiencing what he's experiencing, you know? And that's just Christopher Nolan being Christopher Nolan, the GOAT. Y'all heard me. So yeah, one of the best well shot movies. I think it's one of the best writing films that I've seen in recent memory, man. The writing on this movie is so good, y'all. So good. But with me saying the writing is good, I do feel like a lot of it could have been cut. I know that, look, this movie, that's when I sugarcoated. This movie's 3 hours long, y'all. And there's Albert Einstein right there. But the movie's 3 hours long, and it don't need to be. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, it do not need to be. This movie, if we're being real, this movie probably could have been 2 hours 15, 2 hours and 30. You know, but and I'll say this, I was having fun. I was really enjoying my time in the theater up until that 2 hour mark. But once it gets past that 2 hour mark, it just kind of feels like the movie is dragging a little bit. And they're just adding stuff and adding scenes just to add scenes. It feels like, you know how you'll buy a Blu-ray or you'll buy a disc or DVD when a movie comes out, and they'll be like, oh, added scenes, extra scenes here, right? It just felt like Christopher Nolan threw all them extra scenes in this movie. There definitely a lot could have been cut, and that would have helped with the pacing of this film. Because literally, like I said, for 2 hours, I was really enjoying myself. And then I started being like, okay, this is taking a toll on me. This is too much. This is killing me right now. Like I was like 2 hours 30 minutes. I was like, I'm ready to go, man. I've seen what I needed to see. Like, what else is there? So yeah, definitely a lot could have been cut. This don't need to be 3 hours. It don't need to be 3 hours at all. But I still had a lot of fun while watching it. And another thing is with these Christopher Nolan films, y'all know if y'all watch Tenet, y'all watch Dark Knight, just a lot of Inception, just like those movies. And I'm not gonna do this, but I'm just telling you guys, there you got to rewatch it. You're not gonna get everything on the first watch. You know, like I said, Inception, you didn't get everything on the first watch. Tenet, you didn't get everything on the first watch. So it made you actually want to rewatch the films again and revisit the films. The reason why I'm not doing it again, because there's actually things that I didn't understand in this movie, and it really warrants a rewatch from me to better understand what was going on. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm not sitting through 3 hours of this again. So that becomes my problem. Like, I really do want to sit through this again, rewatch this movie again. But I'll be damned if I'm sitting down for 3 more hours again watching this. So it's like the stuff I didn't pick up, I just didn't pick it up. I'm sorry. But I'll say I know I didn't go on how long it was, but I do like how it ended. Because how it ends, I'm not spoiling nothing, but how it ends just makes you go back to the first 10 minutes or whatever. And you just realizing, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad he realized, like, what he's done, you know. And I think this movie, look, this movie will probably go up for an Oscar. I'll say that it probably will go up for an Oscar. And I don't know if it was gonna win or not, but it probably go up, man. The way this movie, like I said, the way this movie's shot, I'm giving my rating. The way this movie's shot. The characters here which drive the film. The characters are the main part of this movie. It's not about this stupid. I mean, I know the atom bomb was there. That's why everybody's gonna go through the door, because Christopher Nolan, atom bomb. But no, it's these characters that drive the movie. Everybody showcases an amazing performance with the character they're playing and showcasing on the film. Cillian Murphy, man, does a phenomenal job, and I'm so glad we got to follow him. I'm so glad he was a leading character in the movie, because, like I said, he was one of my favorite characters. He wasn't my favorite. Emily Blunt was my favorite, but still, he does a great job overall. Man, there's not a lot bad to say about this one. This is one of those movies where, like I said earlier, this is a very powerful film. You know, this is a film that I think, as a parent, you need to take your kid to go see. Like, if I had kids, I would take them probably to go see this movie. Now, they're a little bit older. They'd be probably about 10, 13 to go see this movie. But I would want them to see this movie just off of the writing alone, just off the story alone. It's just very, very well done. My biggest complaint, like I said, this movie don't need to be 3 hours. A lot of movies don't need to be 3 hours. Avatar, get away with it, because I kind of liked it a lot. But even though I like this movie too, but yet it did not. It slowed the movie down. You know, after that 2 hours hits, you're gonna start feeling a little bit of fatigue, and you're gonna be like, oh, we're going through this again, this again, this again. It just kind of recycles the same thing over and over again, and you're kind of getting bored after a while. But I'll just say this, man. I learned a lot watching this movie, and that's what I love. If I can come out of a movie being like, wow, I actually learned a lot from watching this, then I'm going to give it a good score. Look, I'm going to go ahead and get my rating right now. I'm giving this movie a straight up 8.5 out of 10. I know I just gave that to Barbie, but I think this one warrants this, and this one deserves the same exact rating. Now, if you're asking me which one is better, Barbie or this movie, look, I had more fun watching Barbie, if I'm being real with you guys, but I learned a lot more watching this movie. But if it was like Kobe, you have to go rewatch one of them. I'm going to rewatch Barbie first, just because Barbie was funny. Great character. It had a lot. It had a lot going for it, you know. But yeah, man, if it wasn't for this goddamn 3 hours, this probably could have been a 10 out of 10 for me. But that 3 hours brings it down a lot, honestly, because there's just so much to me that really felt like it could be cut and it would start dragging. But just because I'm saying stuff negative, I had a positive. This is a positive review. I generally had fun watching this movie. I enjoyed watching this movie. I got to learn something watching this movie. I think you will too, honestly. Look, if it's your first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, the video. Tell me your guys' thoughts, complaint, criticism, stuff like that down below. And hey, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.